Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a lot of people didn't think they were ever going to do this. They're going to build another ship with Royal Caribbean, but it's probably not the kind you thought they were going to build. We also have Carnival Cruise Line answering a very big question for some adults out there and people who get insulted easily, shall we say. Also, according to the CDC, we still don't know what that illness is on Cunard's cruise ship, the one with all the sick passengers. And finally, the NCL Joy is coming into service after a huge refit, and I'll talk about some of the changes. Some of the changes are going to make people happy. Some of the changes are going to make people angry. So Royal Caribbean surprised a lot of people by announcing that they're building a 7th Oasis Class ship. So currently we have the Icon of the Seas, we have the Star of the Seas, her sister ship being built. Later this year we have the Utopia of the Seas, which is the 6th Oasis Class cruise ship. And everyone thought, well, I guess they're going to just be, with the success that the Icon of the Seas is, they're obviously going to just stick to that class and they're going to build more Icon ships. Well, no. Apparently they're building another Oasis class ship after the Utopia of the Seas, and it's caught a lot of people off guard saying, well, yeah, I really thought that once you introduce a new class that kind of replaces that one, they're not going to build anymore. But Royal Caribbean has done this in the past. They built Oasis class ships. At the same time, they've gone and built bigger Quantum class ships like the Spectrum and the Odyssey of the Seas, all in the middle of building those Oasis class ships. So it's not unusual for them to do it, but it was unusual to think that with that, wow, the headlines and the success and everyone just freaking out over the Icon of the Seas, that they went back to an Oasis class ship. Now, I wonder what they will think if the Utopia of the Seas comes out and it's not as popular as the Icon of the Seas. Will they kind of regret that decision? I don't think so. I think they had this plan all along, but that makes lucky number 7. Lucky number 7. We don't know the name. We just know they're going to get built, and they're going to get built the minute they stop building the Utopia of the Seas. Well, at least that shipyard has worked for a long time. Next, let's talk about Cunard's Queen Victoria, who is sailing around Hawaii at the moment. And it first started in around the middle of February, where 15 passengers came down with an unknown illness, and it quickly spread out through the cruise lines that over 154 people on board, both passengers and crew, ended up getting sick on board. And the CDC launched an investigation to find out exactly what was going on, what happened, etc. Well, after 2 weeks of this investigation, they still don't know what it is. They still have not officially called it a norovirus. Last year alone, there were 13 outbreaks of norovirus. Now, one outbreak last year was actually E. coli, and salmonella. That was an outbreak on the ship. So, but they haven't ruled that out on this one. All symptoms seems to go that yes, it's going to be a norovirus with the symptoms and the things that passengers are having. But remember, we all think of norovirus and we just actually pass off on it. You know, okay, we're going to get sick, we're going to get in our room. But for those passengers over the age of 65, it becomes a very big health risk. In fact, last year in the United States alone, there were 20 million people diagnosed with norovirus last year. That's right, 13 cruise ships had norovirus. 20 million Americans had norovirus last year alone, and 900 of them actually passed away last year from symptoms caused by the norovirus and complications afterwards. So yes, if you're out there and you're, have any kind of health issues and everything, and there's any kind of an outbreak, take precautions while you're on the ship. Wash those hands. Try and stay away from people if you can. It's just for your own safety. I'm not saying hide or anything like that. Judge for yourself. But yeah, it can be more serious than a lot of us put on. I think nothing of the norovirus. I just had it on a cruise ship. And I just put myself in my room, and I wasn't sick. I just had to go to the washroom a lot, and I isolated myself automatically the minute I had a symptom. And I took responsibility for myself. And it'd be nice if a lot of people out there did the exact same thing so that we would not spread it to other people on the ship. But some people say, well, I paid my vacation and I'm going to that show no matter how I feel, and the heck with everybody else. And unfortunately, there's one in every crowd, right? So again, they don't know what it is. They just know it's bad. 154 people came down with something on that cruise. Next, let's talk about the NCL Joy. She just came out of dry dock, and she's had a few changes to the ship, shall we say. Some of them people are going to find, yeah, that makes sense, and some people are going to be a little upset. For instance, a lot of the family activities that were on the Norwegian Joy are kind of gone now. For instance, the Galaxy Virtual Reality Arcade has now been replaced with the spa, which, if you were somebody who used to bring your kids and keep them entertained in that area, you're going to find that a little bit annoying. But if you're a person who loves the spa, you're going to find that a great new addition. More room in the spa, a bigger pool area, lots of thermal suite area, much better if you're one of those people. So if you also had kids and they used to like to go up and play laser tag at the back of the ship, well, that's now been replaced, and now it's been added to the Vibe Beach Club in the back, which again limits what entertainment is on board for the children on the ship. Again, it depends on your perspective. If you're not traveling with kids, or the kids don't use that area, then the expanded area for the Vibe Beach Club is more room, more space for you as well. I think one of the most controversial things that have happened on the Norwegian Joy is the big, huge observation wraparound lounge at the front of the ship on deck 15. Well, they've lost a lot of the port side viewing areas now, because they've now put in 24 new balcony cabins in that area. So yeah, part of that big kind of 180-degree wraparound lounge relaxation area is now being compromised with those floor-to-ceiling windows, and now there's cabins there. And Norwegian has said that they put them there to offer more variety and more choices of cabins for passengers. That's true, absolutely true. And it's also 24 more cabins that they can sell, as opposed to not making any money in the observation lounge. It's the way things kind of work, right? More choices, but more money as well. But I imagine the staterooms are going to be beautiful. It's just a lot of people are going to find the changes not to their liking, and other people are going to absolutely love the changes on board. Let's talk about John Heald again on Carnival Facebook page, where a passenger was talking about trigger warnings, and says that there should be an announcement and a warning of what the comedians in the adult-only area is going to talk about. What subjects is he going to talk about? Is he going to talk about drugs, politics, sex? What is he going to talk about? They should be telling us, so we will not be triggered during the show and end up walking out. And this will be good for the comedians, because if we don't like what he's going to talk about, we would leave before the show starts and not during the show like we had to do on the show. And I am right on par with John Heald on this, because I'm old school and I have a pretty thick skin. You know, I grew up with Newfie jokes here in Canada, coming from the Maritimes. I was a short, skinny kid. I had all that joke, and I don't get triggered by anything out there at all, except for people who are triggered by a lot of things. If you go to an adult-only comedy club, you can't even know sometimes what the comedian's going to talk about, because a lot of the times he's running off the audience. and he'll make some jokes out there and ask audience questions and then do jokes with the audience based on what they said, not necessarily pat material, especially cruise ship comedians, because they have to be able to go on the fly. If you're on a 20-day cruise and you go to the comedy club 5 nights, you don't want to hear the same jokes over and over and over again. So the comedians have to work and have, play the room sort of thing. And when they perfectly say it's an adult, 18 only comedy show, you know it's going to be adult topics. And adult topics can be drugs, politics, sex, whatever the comedian decides. And I am perfectly okay with that. And no, we don't need a trigger warning for absolutely everything out there now. Well, let me know what you guys think. Do you think we need trigger warnings in front of the comedy show? And were you surprised to find out Royal Caribbean's building another Oasis Class ship? Especially when they announced they're going to start building some smaller ships possibly as well. I was kind of caught off guard myself. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.